Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra Unit 5.4 Notes, Day 1. Today we're going to be talking about solving systems of linear equations by using elimination. Our learning target today is to be able to find a solution of a system of equations by using, that's right, elimination. Let's get started. So far, we have solved systems of linear equations by graphing and substitution. So you've learned two so far. Some systems are more easily solved with elimination instead of substitutions. And systems that have the x and y variables of the on the same that are on the same side of the equal side are more easily solved with elimination. Okay, so if we have the x and y on both equations, it's easier to solve with elimination. So let's take a look at this first part. It says, what method should you use to solve the following systems? Circle your answer. So x and y on both sides, that's when we would do elimination. Okay, so I have the y over here, x over there, there's my x, there's my y. Is everything on the same side there? No. So that's when we would choose substitution. Plus, the y is by itself, that's when we would put the parentheses around the 3x minus 7, right? Yeah, you remember that. Okay, let's look at the next one. I have the x, the y on that side, and the x on the y on that side, and it's on the same side of the equal sign, which means, that's right, I would use elimination. So, solving systems by elimination. If it's going to take you a while to write this stuff down, pause the video and copy the notes. I am going to go through each of them though. Okay, so 1. Decide if you want to cancel the x's or the y's and find the LCM of their coefficients. Mr. Grice, what the heck does LCM mean? Well, what that is the lowest common multiple. I want to know the lowest multiple that both numbers have in common. Okay? Step 2 is use multiplication to obtain opposite lowest common multiples. 3, add the two equations together. And 4, use substitution to complete the ordered pair. Good? All right. That's it. You guys can do the rest on your own, right? Oh, you can't? Oh, you want me to go through some? Sure, we can do that. So, subsystems have either the x's or y's already written as opposites. That's good. In this case, we can skip step 1, the multiplication, and just add the two equations together. So, the first thing that you notice is that your x's and your y's are all lined up. That's good. So, we're going to add up our x's. So, what's negative x plus x? Okay, because we are adding these. Negative x plus x, they cancel. They eliminated. Yes, that's what we want. And then 2 plus 6, we get 8y. Negative 8 plus negative 16 gives us negative 24. Now, is the y all by itself? Nope. So to get the y all by itself, we divide by 8, and we get that y equals negative 3. So am I done? Well, no, because we're looking for an ordered pair, and all I know is negative 3. So you can choose any of those original equations. I'd pick whichever one looks easier. So I'm going to do the one with the positive x. Okay, and we're going to plug in -3. 6 times -3 is -18. Now to get the x by itself, we would add the 18 to both sides. Those cancel, and we get x equals +2. So then our final answer is 2, -3. Okay, let's go ahead and line these up. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that first. I should have looked. Well, my x's don't cancel out, but my y's do. See how the top is a +4y and the bottom is a -4y. So let's add these up. X plus 6x is 7x. My y's cancel, and that equals 19 plus 30 is 49. So to get the x's by itself, we have to divide both sides by 7. And we get that x equals 49 divided by 7 is 7. Okay, well that's just the first part of the equation. Now we need to find out what x is. Which equation do you want to use? No, I can't hear you. You guys speak louder. I still can't hear you. Anyways, I'm just going to pick the top one because that looks the easiest to me. Okay, so x is 7. Well, in parentheses, there we go. We don't really need to do anything. So I'm going to subtract 7 to both sides. And we get that 4y equals 19 minus 7 is 12. And then to get the y by itself, we have to divide both sides by 4. And we get that y equals 3. So we have the point 7, 3. That's not too bad, was it? No. Okay. Now, sometimes neither the x's or the y's are opposite. In that case, you need to use multiplication to obtain opposites before you can add the two equations. Okay? So we need to figure out what we want to cancel, and then we're going to have to multiply stuff out. Okay? So you can look at your x's and look at the y's. Which ones look easier to cancel out? Well, I noticed that the x down, there's only a 1 on the bottom, so I can multiply everything by 6 to obtain opposites. And you're like, yo, Mr. Grice, that makes no sense at all, man. Well, just watch. 6 times 1 gives us 6x. And the key thing here is I want these to be opposites. Are those opposites now? Yes, good. But now I have to keep multiplying everything so I don't really change the equation. 6 times -2 gives us -12y. And then 6 times 1 is 6. Okay, well that was step 1. Now we're going to add the equations up. -6 plus 6, those canceled just like we wanted. -5 plus -12 is -17y equals 28 plus 6 gives us 34. Is the y by itself? Nope. So I have to divide both sides by -17. And what does y equal? Yeah, y equals -2. Now, if it helps you to draw the ordered pair to make sure that you get both numbers first, that's fine. Okay? Now, I'm not done yet because I don't know what x equals. So I would pick the bottom equation. Let's go ahead and plug in the -2. Pause that video and solve that on your own. Good luck. Okay, and you should have gotten x equals -3, which gives us the point -3, -2. Okay, let's look at number 4. So right away, I'm gonna draw my little ordered pair so I know that's where I write my final answer. All right, let's look at your x's and your y's. What would be the easiest to cancel out? Well, if I'm looking at the y's, I could just multiply either one, the top or the bottom, by a -1, and they'd be opposites, right? Yeah, that's what we want, guys. That's the whole point of doing this. So we have 2x plus 5y equals -11. And then I'm going to multiply everything by a -1. -1 times -3 gives me a positive 3x. -1 times a positive 5 gives us -5y. And then -1 times -21 gives us a positive 21. We're going to add everything up, but I just want you to look. If this step they don't cancel out, I'm sorry guys, you did something wrong. You need to double check your work. My y's cancel. -11 plus 21 is 10. What does x equal? Yeah, x equals 2. Okay, I'm not even going to help you with this next part. You pick one of the original equations. By original, I mean the top or the bottom up here. You pick and solve. Tell me what y equals. Good luck. Okay, so what I did is I plugged into the top equation just because I like smaller numbers and, you know, they're not as many negatives. And then I got that y equals -3. Okay, number 5. I want you to figure out what would you multiply. Would you try to get rid of the x's or would you try to get rid of the y's? Now in this one, I think the x's would be easier, but you need to come up with this number. What would you multiply by? And then try to eliminate yourself, okay? Go ahead and pause the video and good luck. Okay, so I multiplied by -2 because -2 times +2, yeah, it's a -4x, and -4x plus 4x, they cancel. Okay, now don't forget that you have to distribute to everything out there. Okay, now when you're combining 6y minus 5y is y, and -8 plus 8 is 0. Remember, that's not your answer, that's just y. Okay, and now we can plug into any of the equations. I'm just going to plug into the top one. -3 times 0 is well, not -0, it's 0. 2x equals 4, divide both sides. And we get x equals 2. What do you think? Can you try this last one on your own? I think you can do it. Do you want me to help you out? Okay, this is what I'll tell you. I want to cancel the x's on this one. So what number would I multiply the top equation by to make those opposites? Well, they're both negative, right? So I need that number to be negative. This is a 1, and I need it to be 4. So I'm going to multiply by -4. Okay? Now, you guys are in charge of the rest of the equation. You can do it. Pause the video, and good luck. Okay, there's all my work. When you distribute, you get 4x plus 12y equals 28. You had to be very careful with your negatives on that one. The 4x and the -4x cancel, and you get 19y equals 38. Divide both sides by 19, and we get y equals 2. Remember, you can plug it into either original equation on the top or the bottom. I chose the top. -3 times 2 is -6. I added 6 to both sides. Don't forget about that negative. And so I divided by -1, and we get that x equals 1. And that's it. So your homework is right here. 5.4 practice. All right. It's telling you to use elimination and do your work on a separate sheet of paper. Okay. Well, if you have any questions or need extra help, come please find Ms. Carranza or myself. Otherwise, this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra, Unit 5.4 Notes, Day 1. Thanks for watching.